peoples, welcome to Box Center. You already know what it is. Jay Smith in the flesh. We're gonna get it, man. Let's talk boxing. We're gonna start this off with the magic question. Who is Tank Davis gonna fight next? Apparently, his team has said that they're having a hard time getting an opponent for a November date. El Rayo Valenzuela had previously stated, or his team, that they would be ready to fight in February. Obviously, that's not, a good timeline for Tank Davis, who wants to fight this year. What's going to happen? Who is Tank going to fight next? Remember that they never sent Shakur an offer, and Shakur went in a different direction. So he has a fight. Signed, sealed, and delivered. In training camp. What Tank gonna do? You see, so what's happening with Tank, if he ends up having to push to another date, December or next year, then it shows that Shakur Stevenson made the right move in moving on. Because look, he got a fight. That's it, lined up. So there you have it. Had Tank sent him an offer, we would have been talking about Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis. But nope. We're talking about Shakur Stevenson versus Joe Cordina, and Tank Davis versus we don't even know if he's going to fight. Man, I'm telling you, boxing is a complicated business. Boxing is a complex business. And when there's an opportunity to make a fight, if you don't make it, you never know when that opportunity is going to be there again. Because there's always different timelines, different time frames. If you fight now and not fought 2 months ago, we may not want to fight at the same time. So in boxing, when there's an opportunity to make a super fight, man, you got to make it. Tank Davis could have sent Shakur Stevenson a contract, and we would have had Tank Davis versus Shakur in November of this year. But no, Shakur Stevenson, he saw that they wasn't trying to make nothing happen. He went in a different direction, right? He's going to be fighting Joe Cordina. And what's going on with Tank? Tank doesn't even know who he's going to fight next. Jassy Rojas, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you dropping by. So yeah, man, I'm asking the magic question. What is Tank Davis going to do? By the way, my peoples, hit that like button, man. Don't be cheap. When it comes to this boxing, I'm your connections. I'm your plug. So come on, my peoples. Hit that like button. Join the Box Center family. Subscribe and get this real boxing content. But again, my peoples, the magic question. Tank Davis, who is he going to fight next? Because apparently the situation with Rayo Valenzuela is not working out. It doesn't look like, that fight is happening. So if it doesn't happen, what is he going to go after? They wanted to fight Pitbull, but Pitbull lost. So that rematch is out of the question right now. They're not going to go fight Pitbull when he's coming off of a loss. So you got to see what is Tank Davis going to do next. And remember, he had the opportunity to fight Shakur. Should have sent Shakur a contract. Shakur was like, yo, I'll sign it. Send it. Never sent it. So this goes to show you that Shakur made the right decision. So he was like, you know what? Let me move in a different direction because they're not going to freeze me out. They're not going to have me inactive trying to beg for a fight. And look, now Tank is inactive, or at least doesn't have a fight lined up, and Shakur already got the contract signed, sealed, and delivered. So he made the right decision. What's good, William Stanley? Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. Yo, you already know, my peoples. Hit that like button. It's free. It's free of charge. Don't be cheap with that. And yo, Box Center, my peoples, I'm trying to tell you, for this boxing stuff, I am your plug. I am your connections. Subscribe to this channel and get this serious boxing content. Real talk, my peoples. But again, man, I'm still trying to figure out where is Tank Davis gonna go to next. If it doesn't work out with Rayo Valenzuela, is he gonna have to wait, or is he gonna have to wait till February to get that Rayo Valenzuela fight, or is he gonna find a different opponent and still get a fight in November of this year? I mean, Ryan Garcia, my brother, man, you know that he'll say anything. You know, at this point, man, I think he'll tell you that he could beat AJ and Usyk on the same night. You know, but I'm gonna tell you like this: Ryan Garcia played all of us with that situation with Haney. I thought he was gonna get knocked out, and Devin don't even have power like that. But I thought Ryan was gonna get knocked out because he was acting all crazy before the fight, and I was like, oh nah, man, this guy, he's gonna take such a beating. And look, man, Ryan caught all of us slipping, all of us. Almost everybody I know was like, yo, Ryan's gonna get beat up badly. Devin is gonna put the Swiss beats on Ryan Garcia. Devin is gonna put the Apple beats on Ryan Garcia. And y'all saw how that played out. Ryan Garcia shocked the world. But then he tested positive and unshocked the world and re-shocked us in a different direction. The crazy thing about that fight, man, is that if you remember throughout training camp and in the pressers, Devin mentioned multiple times, like, yo, all you got is that left hook. All you got is that left hook. And then the fight comes up and Devin keeps getting hit with that left hook over and over. It's like he couldn't stop it. So I don't even understand. I guess, it has something to do with the weight, because we keep forgetting about Ryan having more weight than Devin. He was bigger than Devin and tested positive. I don't know about that, though, whether it was intentional, whether whatever was in his system had an impact in his power. I don't know any of that information. I just know that, that win is tainted by that positive result. So, but positive or not, Ryan gave Devin the beating of a lifetime. It was a nasty beating. Like, you want to see Devin Haney fight again to see how he's gonna bounce back from that. Damn, yo, AJ versus Wilder, man. That's a fight. I wanted to see that fight so bad too, man. AJ versus Wilder, especially when they was both undefeated and just knocking everybody out. But today, that's it. That fight lost, it's a lot of interest. I mean, I tell you what, if they fight, we're going to watch. We're going to tune in. But at this point, I would expect AJ to stop Wilder nasty within the first 3, 4 rounds. Nasty. Brutal. It would be a brutal stoppage. So at this point, that's like, I believe all of the top level guys are stopping Wilder at this point. And I'm going to tell you why that is. Wilder was never a very technically sound fighter. I would say Wilder's success was due to two things, mostly, right? His physical gifts, his physical attributes, which is his height and his reach. He's a very tall guy with a very long reach. And then another very important physical attribute that he had or has is power. So being very tall, having reach, and having that power, he was able to utilize those physical gifts to the max. and went all the way to the top to become a world champion. But technically, Wilder was never a very technically sound fighter. So what happens as you start to get older, that starts to show up. You starts to get older now. You don't have the same movement that you had when you were in your 20s. So those physical attributes alone won't be enough to beat boxing skills. And especially when you face a guy, for example, like Fury, who is as big as you, who has long reach as well. So now your physical attributes are rendered, you know, they're not an advantage anymore. That's it. Because you're fighting somebody that also has those same attributes. So when it comes to that, now it's going to be about skills. And like I said before, Wilder never had the technical, skills like that. He just had that power, that raw power, that reach, that height. And he used it to the fullest extent. He hit hard. He hit super hard. I mean, there's multiple fights where he was losing and he bailed himself out with the power. You see? With Fury, he just wasn't able to do it because Fury miraculously got up from that knockdown in the first fight. But the first time he fought King Kong Ortiz, he was losing that fight. And they finally landed that bomb. Got him out of there. So, yeah, Fury. The thing about Fury is that he hits hard, but he can box. Fury is one of the best heavyweight boxers of this generation. He's up there with his boxing skills. You know what? Maybe he is the best heavyweight boxer of this generation. Which heavyweight can move on their toes like Fury and use the ring the way he does it? So he may be. He very well may be. But, Tyson Fury's on the decline. Unfortunately, that's what I see. If you see, for example, what happened versus Francis Ngannou, if that would have been a real fight, he would have took a loss. And then you saw what happened versus Usyk. Like, that wasn't even close. That's the problem with that fight. It wasn't even close. It's not like it was a split decision or people say he got robbed. He got completely outboxed. And what I believe is that Tyson Fury is already starting that decline, where he's no longer, because that's the thing. You see how he's all flabby and he's not in the type of shape that you see other heavyweights. He's able to get away with that because how talented he is. So his boxing IQ is enough to make up for that lack of shape. Well, guess what? As you get older, you don't get away with it no more. Because now your punch resistance goes down. Now you don't have that same movement. You're going to take more punches. So Tyson Fury, I believe, he was getting away with showing up to fights and not being in the greatest of shape because of his great boxing IQ. But that's it. At his age, he's going to be taking more and more punishment. And guys, now he's lost a little bit of a step. Guys will be able to outbox him. Yeah. I mean, Wilder is more done. Like, Wilder should retire. He should not fight again. I hear that I think I saw somewhere that he says he's not done. I think he doesn't want to go out on a loss. That's a mistake in my opinion, because he could take a worse beating. And Wilder's made a lot of money. He's good. His family's good. His kid is good. So I would say, retire, man, and enjoy your money. Retire. Don't wait to get hurt. Worse. Because that's the thing, man. Wilder has taken some nasty punishment. Some tough fights he's been involved in already. Towards the end of his career. Multiple. So, how much more can you take? Ooh, yo, Tito Trinidad, man. Yo, Tito Trinidad's my guy. Tito Trinidad, in my opinion, is arguably the best welterweight fighter of all time. You got to remember, Tito never lost, obviously, in the welterweight division, right? But look at the names in his resume. You got to remember, this happened when fighters were fighting each other. When the best were going up against the best consistently. Every year. That's the difference, yo. If you watching boxing now and you was watching it back then, that's a big difference, bro. Like, it was consistent. Look at Tito Trinidad with Fernando Vargas. Both undefeated. Look at Tito Trinidad with Oscar De La Hoya. Yo, look at Oscar De La Hoya. Matter of fact, Tito Trinidad moved up and challenged Andy Reid, who was undefeated. I think he was an Olympic. Did he win a gold medal or silver? I don't remember, but Andy Reid was an Olympian and he was undefeated when he fought Trinidad. Trinidad beat him. I think he stopped him. I can't remember. I know he dropped him multiple times. Yeah, I think he stopped him. So Trinidad, one of the greatest welterweights of all time, yo. For real, man. His run at the welterweight division was insane. Imagine he had to. That's what you know a fighter's great, when they have to keep moving up and moving up to finally lose. Like, he ended up losing for the first time to Winky Wright. What was that, at 154 or 160? At 147, he was unstoppable, man. Ali, I love Muhammad Ali. He was my GOAT for a very long time. Rocky Marciano, he's not amongst my favorite just because, I'm not old enough to where I got to see him. And all I can see really is video of very low quality. So I can't really gauge his skills myself. I know he was very good because I've heard George Foreman talk about him and say some very positive things. But I myself wouldn't find him as one of my favorites because I never really seen what he could do, Big George Foreman, oh my goodness, yo, I love Big George. One of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Jack Dempsey, the same thing kind of applies. I didn't get to see Jack myself. Just seeing some highlight videos of him. And unfortunately, videos from that era, they don't have the same quality. You can't really appreciate somebody's technical skills to the fullest extent. So, Jack Dempsey is somebody that I know about, that I respect, but I don't have him amongst my favorite just because I didn't get to see him myself. Triple G, another great fighter. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. And one thing that people underestimate about Triple G, he was never dropped in his whole career. He has never visited the canvas. Triple G's never... the guy's been hit with monster shots by the hardest punchers he's faced. And he's never gone down, man. Triple G's never visited the canvas. That's how you gotta know the guy. He's for real. He's for real. But I tell you what, Triple G's washed up, and I believe that he should definitely retire. I heard talks about him maybe coming back. Even they talked about him coming back versus Crawford. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Don't do that. Triple G needs to retire too. Because remember, he's taken a lot of punishment as well. He had a great career. He's headed to the Hall of Fame, but he's taking a lot of punishment. So I believe he's 41, 42. I believe at his age, he shouldn't fight anymore. That's it. You took enough. And I believe he definitely made enough money. So he doesn't have to fight for money. But my people's Tank Davis, who is he going to fight next? That's the magic question. We already know he's not fighting Shakur Stevenson. And we don't know if he's gonna be able to fight Rayo Valenzuela. We know he's not gonna fight Pitbull because Pitbull lost to Rayo. Hey, yo, check it, my peoples. Don't be cheap with that like button, man. Hit that like button, man. Stop playing with me. And yo, join the Box Center family, folks. Subscribe to this channel for that real boxing content. Trust me, I am your connections. I am your plug. Let's get it, my peoples. But I'm trying to figure out, man, what's going to happen with Tank Davis. Because I really wanted to see him fight Shakur. And for whatever reason, they didn't send a contract. Why is it that Tank Davis keep murdering Shakur on Twitter, but he never sent a contract? Help me understand that. Why is it that on Twitter, Tank is always beating Shakur's ass, but in real life, he don't send a contract? What the hell's going on out here? What's up with the putting the beats on people on Twitter, and then when y'all both free, y'all both ready to fight, you don't send a contract? Now Shakur go in a different direction. He's gonna have to beat up Joe Cordina, and you don't even have an opponent. Who you gonna fight next? Should have sent Shakur that contract. He told y'all he was gonna sign it. So that's what I'm telling you, my peoples. Fights get made when both fighters want to make them happen. You see Shakur, like, yo, send a contract, my boy. We're going to sign that. No contract. So where's the duck narrative at? I don't hear nobody calling Tank a duck or saying that Tank ducked Shakur. But Shakur has an opponent and Tank does not. So how do we take that? How do we take that? My peoples. Don't play with me with that like button, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe, because you're looking at your boxing connections right here. Mayweather, okay, Mayweather is the greatest of all time, in my opinion. He's the GOAT. Canelo, one of the greatest of all time. Better be a pound for pound fighter, one of this era's greats. Bivol, a pound for pound fighter, in my opinion. Crawford, obviously number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Tank, he's one of the greats of this era. He doesn't have the resume yet, but he is. AJ, yeah. Everybody on your list is solid. Everybody on your list is solid. And I want to tell you something, my people, and this is what I do, right? When I support a fighter, for me to support that fighter, I don't have to diminish the other fighter or his rival or his opponent, because people do that a lot. They feel like they have to, in order to uplift this fighter, they have to degrade this fighter. And you don't have to do that in reality. You could acknowledge that they're both great, but you feel like this one is greater. Like, look at Tank and Shakur. If they fight each other, we should just acknowledge that it's two great fighters with two different styles of boxing, and you favor one style over the other. That makes sense. Cool. But when you start saying, well, this guy's a hype job, or this guy's a bum, or this guy, like, what? What are you talking about? You're talking about two undefeated champions. So we have to understand that, yo, these fighters are elite level fighters, elite level champions, both undefeated. When Shakur and Tank fight each other, people don't know what's going to happen. Well, I already told y'all, Shakur's going to outbox him and win a unanimous decision. But the popular opinion is always to go with the power puncher. Just like people thought Pitbull was going to knock Rayo out. And what happened? Oh, Pitbull's going to knock him out. Pitbull's going to put the beats on him. Pitbull's going to walk him down. Rayo's not going to be able to handle it. And what happened? Rayo put hands and feet on Pitbull for 12 rounds. All types of hands. So there you have it. The boxer beat the puncher. The boxer beat the puncher, my peoples. You see that all the time in boxing. It ain't nothing new. You're going to keep seeing it. Let me ask y'all a question. It's a very simple question. For the people who think Tank Davis is going to knock Shakur Stevenson out, do you think that Pitbull has better defense than Shakur Stevenson? Y'all tell me. Does Pitbull Cruz have better defense than Tank Davis? Than Shakur Stevenson? Y'all tell me. Because Pitbull Cruz didn't get knocked out by Tank. So if you're saying that Shakur is going to get knocked out by Tank, then you believe that Pitbull has better defense. So Real TV 9th Ward. Yo, salute, my guy. Appreciate you hopping on. So, yo, I'm asking the magic question. A lot of people saying that Tank is going to knock Shakur out, and they're sure of it. So, is that implying that Pitbull has better defense than Shakur? Because Pitbull didn't get knocked out, right? So, are we supposed to assume that Pitbull was able to stay away from that knockout punch, but Shakur won't? And that's what I'm talking about, William. That's what I'm talking about. You know, the most popular opinion is always to go with power. So most people think that Tank Davis is going to win. And I get that, he's going to be the favorite. But all I'm saying is that does power always beat boxing? That's not the case. We could go back, we could go back very far back and look at references. Like, let me go far back as Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. What happened? The great boxer versus the great puncher. The great boxer won. And then let me go more recently. El Rayo Valenzuela versus Pitbull. Again, the boxer beat the puncher. So that's what you have to understand. When you're the puncher and that knockout doesn't come, you have to outbox the boxer for 12 rounds. And it's hard for the puncher to outbox the boxer. That's what it always boils down to. It's real hard for the puncher to outbox the boxer. I'm talking about at the high level when they're both greats. So, of course, Floyd, a lot of opponents that Floyd faced was stronger than him. And even Manny Pacquiao, when he moved to 147, he a very small guy. All of them guys he faced was stronger than him. Everybody Pac-Man faced at 147, anybody he faced probably at 140 and above was stronger than him. But Pac-Man was just so good. It's that simple. He was so good. Skills beats power. All the time. There's nothing new. And then when skills beat power, you know what people say? Oh, but that was boring, or he ran, or like, when Shakur outboxed Tank and beat him, the people that hate on Shakur are gonna find a new reason to hate on Shakur. They're not gonna like in the fashion that he beat him. That's gonna be the new narrative. And you know what? To be honest, I see Shakur's career playing out very similar to how Floyd's career played out. People don't remember this, but the internet keeps receipts. You could see them. The memes are there. Yo, towards the end of Floyd's career, the narrative from a lot of people was that Floyd is too boring, that Floyd runs too much, that he's a runner. They used to post memes with Floyd's in bicycles and Floyd in skates and Floyd in a tracksuit running from fighters. Like the memes are there. They're endless about how Floyd was a boring fighter that just runs. But what happened after he retired? All that narrative disappears. And all people recognize is all the titles he won and that he retired 50-0. And now Floyd is regarded as the greatest of all time, or one of them at least, regardless of all that hate narrative. Saludo, saludo, Angela Salazar. So look at that. There was a narrative about Floyd that he was boring. There was a narrative about Floyd that he was a runner. And that narrative disappeared. So Shakur has exactly the same narrative as Floyd. Oh, Shakur's boring. Shakur's running. That's exactly what they were saying about Floyd, my peoples. So you have a young, undefeated champion who gets mad hate, and all he do is keep winning. So Shakur's career is playing out, yo. I see it the same way as Floyd. Floyd was the best defensive fighter of his era. And who's the best defensive fighter of this era? Shakur Stevenson. What a coincidence. I'm telling you, Floyd and Shakur is a match. And the funny thing is, Devin Haney was saying, I'm Floyd reincarnated. After he took that beating from Ryan, he has never said that again. I don't know if y'all remember when Devin was saying that, oh, I'm Floyd reincarnated. Took that beating. He's never said that again. And I don't believe he'll ever say it again. That's it. That beating humbled him. So, yeah, keep thinking when it comes to Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis that Tank is just going to knock him out because he hits harder. You have to wonder, the guy that's the most unhittable fighter in boxing, is he just going to get knocked out? Just because Tank hit hard? I don't know. I don't know, my people. But check it. First of all, I want to give y'all a shout out for joining me this morning for a few minutes. Y'all already know what it is, man. We always talking boxing. Remember, my peoples, Box Center will be live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time from Mondays through Fridays. Don't forget to tune in, my peoples. I'm going to come through with all new segments. And, yo, it's something different. It's something different. Yo, I'm your connections. I'm your plug. So go ahead, hit that like button, my peoples. Don't forget to subscribe, share this content. This is it right here, my peoples. Box Center, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. Man, join the Box Center family already. Stop playing with me. Hit that like button, subscribe, and you already know what it is, my people. Mondays through Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We live with Box Center, the show, all new segments. Yo, you got to check it out, man. You got to check it out. If you love boxing, this is for you right here. This is for you. Appreciate you tuning in, my peoples. You already know what it is. Jay Smith, I'm signing out. Peace.